All right, so when it comes to home gym, space-saving and versatile home gym equipment is honestly, I would say, top two when building a home gym. And today, I'm gonna show you guys a hack where I incorporate the GetRXd tornado arms with my ANCORE Pros to create a space-saving functional trainer. Love to know what you guys think after this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Shows that it's rugged and we're getting jacked. Honestly, not gonna lie, it's not the end of the world. Try some. Oops. Yeah, it is. I don't really care. Honestly, I can do pretty much everything. This is stuck. Stop. All right, guys. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about a home gym hack with GetRXd and ANCORE. If you guys find this video helpful in building your home gym, I do have a GetRXd link. It's in the description and it's on lukesgaragebgym.com. Using that link and then buying at checkout gives me a small kickback to help me, the creator, create more content for you guys. Same with ANCORE. I have a coupon code. It'll be in the description and my link there. If you think ANCORE is a right fit for your home gym, using that code and link will then help a creator like me create more home gym content for you guys. Appreciate that support, and shout out to ANCORE and shout out to GetRXd for sending me this equipment to create this hack to show you guys out there all the different possibilities to create a sick home gym setup. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so first of all, I want to give you guys how I decided to create this setup and honestly why I even want to do this video. Well, let's first talk about the tornado arms from GetRXd. Honestly, guys, I've actually done a video with Max and Fitness and their articulating arms and have been using these tornado arms. I'm not gonna lie, these are honestly a staple in my training. Why? For multiple reasons. Number one is the adjustability of these arms. You're able to go in so many different directions so that you don't feel like you are fixed to one point on a trolley system. And what's nice about these arms is they articulate and move with you wherever you go, so it's not stuck in a fixed position. Aluminum pulleys are nice, the build qualities are nice, and the pop pin adjustment is honestly very smooth on my 3x3 11 gauge steel Delta Fitness Whacker Rat, if you guys are interested in checking that out. And I think at the end of the day too, it's pretty cool that, you notice here there's adjustments to go all the way down, to the bottom, all the way to the top. So that adjustability is really important for body types and versatility and where you want to be able to do the exercises in your gym. And that's where articulating arms are just the buzz, and I think something that's going to stay in the home gym for honestly those reasons. And then why did I choose ANCORE to be a part of this setup? Well, ANCORE has been a part of the channel since the beginning of 2025. It's a 65-pound one-to-one resistance, full tension throughout the movement piece. And I was like, dude, I have two of these. Why not figure out a way to hack this to combine into a functional trainer? And then I'll talk about all the exercises and how this setup works for me. And then in the comments, love to know what your thoughts, if you would do it differently or, would you add something else? So what I have is at the bottom of each side here, guys, is both of my ANCORE Pros that have 65 pounds of resistance on each side. So instead of the rack mount, I actually use is the strap. My thought behind it was really kind of awkward putting the rack mount on the bottom of this this beam here, or in a cross member, because then the cable will be kind of pushed back and then the cable's kind of sliding on the side here. It just wasn't practical. And I also like too that using the strap mount at the bottom here gives me a little bit more of an ability to raise these arms a little higher with the cable slack. And that's another thing too is, measuring the cable slack and what I use. But that was honestly the mindset behind it, is I wanted to get is on both sides, honestly, to strap the anchors to the bottom so that I have enough cable travel and enough cable length to go pretty high up here. I can get, I would say about right here, just towards the top of the upright, to be able to do most of my lifts. You can tell right here too, if I wanted to do this as well, I can lift this up. And that was the first thought behind it too, because I'm like, oh, this is easy. I'll just use a rack mount and put it there. And I realized it's a little bit more cumbersome, and it's just, I feel like I can't do as much as I would want to. So having it strapped to the bottom of the floor each side really has made a difference for me. Now let's talk about exactly the cable, how I figured that out. So first of all, the setup of this was Dude, I was getting so freaking frustrated. If you can't tell, my ceilings are already jacked up. Honestly, maybe we'll fix it one day. I don't really care. It's a garage. It's fine, you know. It shows that it's rugged and we're getting jacked by breaking stuff. Probably not. But anyways, why I'm saying that is because in order for me to have a better pulley system, I would have to literally cut off a part of my upright here to be able to fit a pulley system here and on this cross member and then get the anchor at the bottom. And honestly, first of all, I'm not cutting that freaking steel, no way. And I didn't really care to cut up into my ceilings anymore, as much as I know it's, like I said, it's not a big deal. It's messy, it's dirty, and just it's a pain. So shout out to my boy Matt Porter if he's watching this. He FaceTimed me. We're sitting like, dude, like what could I do to get this to work and still be able to pretty much use it for 90% of my exercises? And so what we did is we went on Amazon. Well, I did. Went on Amazon. I looked at Jay Bryant. We'll link it here for you guys. It'll be in the description too. And I did was get their cable system with the ball here, and then the ability to chop off the cable length and then I think crimp it. Is that the word? Crimp it. And then from there, I'm able to then set up the system here at the bottom. So then I kind of measured and guessed, you know, took a couple trial and errors. I wish I filmed that part, you know, probably should have so you guys can have seen, but trial and error is able to get it to where the cable length is perfect to be able to get pretty high on the upright and be able to get, I would say to the middle here, before there's just way too much cable slack and I'm gonna have to go all the way over to the side to use it, which, I mean, if you can see, I can get, that's about right there. So you can still do some exercises, but if I were to go any lower, it's pretty much worthless. That is honestly the only drawback of my setup is because of my ceilings and having to drill into it and have to take that off. So honestly, not gonna lie, it's not the end of the world, because the only reason that I would only be wanting this to get even lower is maybe a certain type of curl, maybe if I want to do like a hip abductor. That's honestly it, because I can pretty much do everything I want to do going from the middle of the upright to the top. Now again, how easy was it to assemble the tornado arms, the adjustability of this? So I got a decent amount of upright holes in their side. Again, this is 1-inch holes I have on this rack, and really the pop pin adjustment is pretty smooth, not gonna lie. I noticed, I'm like, dude, why this is stuck? So I gotta kind of like push this up so it rattles inside the hole, and then from there I'm able to then adjust it up and down my upright here. Got some fancy knurling here as well, but it's honestly not too bad. You know, over time you get used to it. And then something you could do, I've seen people do, is buy like, there's like rollers on the back sides of these so it rolls even smoother, which I might do over time. But for right now, it's not the end of the world to just adjust it like that. Let's talk about how it feels using an anchor, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, why not just use a Vulture? Oh, why not? Let's talk about it, and then love to know your thoughts. So ideally right now, guys, I have is a full functional trainer with a 1-to-1 ratio of 65 pounds. So think of a 2-to-1 ratio, that's 130 pounds, which idealistically, I put it into like a RIT Fit. If RIT Fit didn't have their weight horns, there's 3 more pounds there. So honestly, I can do pretty much everything. You know, I'll give you a little bit of a list, and some things I did not, you know, fully test and do, because I've only had this for less than a month. I really wanted to show you guys this. So think about a chest. You are able to get these things extremely wide to the side to do a really solid chest press, which is, oh man, which feels great. Or you wanted to do a chest fly, which is way too much weight. I can't do, we'll even show you guys, even with the B-roll. If I wanted to do a chest fly right now, you can't, which already shows that you don't need a lot of weight to do a press or a fly, which is, I know if you guys are like, that's one of my favorite chest exercises. So chest, already a win with this. Now let's go on to shoulders. Now shoulders are great, you know, if you wanted to adjust this down and you wanted to even go a little bit lower, if you wanted to do like a shoulder raise, which you can show you guys, or if you wanted to do like a standing military press, you could do that. Those are really the main two I've done. Seen you could probably do is like a side lateral raise as well, or maybe you could get a front raise as well with this. Because with the ability for these arms to rotate down like this, you know, you have enough where you can do like a front raise or a side raise with that, which is nice. Now, let's talk about triceps. No issue with being able to do a tricep. So if I were to just say, all right, we're gonna put this here, put this very top, I can add, you can go higher here. Let's say I wanna go all the way here. Because obviously the main thing is range of motion, because of, you know, I'm 6 foot, so I'm able to grab this and push down, not have any issues. So I would say if you get up to 6'3", 6'4", your head's pretty much here, but if you still grab it and still get enough tension, you should be fine. So yeah, tricep extensions, no issues with that if I wanted to rotate this down and pick it up, go over my head. Tricep push downs, which are honestly the two of the most staple triceps. If you wanted to even do like a crossover tricep, you could do that. So shows that possibilities are endless with that. All right, so chest, triceps, now biceps. Biceps can be a little unique and different with this type of setup, because usually a bicep, you want to have the tri-system at the very bottom to get full range of motion, which with this, I'd have to like put this all the way down and it just logically wouldn't work. So I did like a standing like bicep where I'm like right here and getting a good squeeze. Honestly, if I'm feeling it in my bicep, mind muscle connection, it's a win for me. Could do is like you pull up a bench and maybe do like an incline curl, or like pull this to the side and do one from the other side too. Biceps are, you got to get a little bit more creative with it, but you are able to do multiple different exercises in that way. And something else, you know, if you wanted to do legs, that is something that I have not really done a whole lot, because to be honest, going through an ACL tear recently, I've been very limited on a lot I can do, and my doctor told me that too. He's like, look, you can do some basic stuff right now, like an extension, a curl, maybe some calf raises. So haven't tested a lot, but a hard thing with this is since you can't go very low, you can't do like a hip abductor, you can't do like a standing curl, you can't really do an extension. So legs can get a little tricky with this. So this might be something that where it's mainly just like an upper body type of system, and then you could do is end up getting like you know, dumbbells, or you do a barbell workout with this, which, you know, isn't a big deal. But obviously with my setup, you know, with my ceiling, if I had the pulleys up here, I could do legs. It wouldn't be an issue, but with how this is, it just wouldn't logically make sense. Now when it comes to back day, like pulley movements, honestly guys, I did a couple exercises with it where I have these together and then I just kneel down right here and I'm able to really get a good squeeze, which felt really good with the 65 pounds on each side. I didn't really have to go really much heavier. It honestly felt really good, guys. And then something else I tried too is, okay, so I'm gonna put this up to the very top, right? I put this anchor over here on the other side so I could double the resistance. So then I was able to get, you know, 65 with 65 is 130 pounds, which, you know, it felt pretty good, but it's still pretty light for me. So it's like a hypertrophy style exercise you could do, because you can get this pretty high up and then roll up a bench and still get a really good squeeze if you wanted to do like a pull down variations in that sense. The issue is if you wanted to do like a seated row, you could do is get this, you know, all right, look at this here. You could get this to the bottom, like towards the bottom, set up a bench and do a row, but there's so much cable slack. So the main back I've done is just like a standing back like this, or one arm, or you could do like a high pull movement like that, which still felt really good. But I've kind of noticed, guys, when using this system that I created, triceps, chest, and then shoulders have been honestly my go-to with this system. And that covers, you know, most of your body. I mean, obviously legs, you gotta hit legs, you gotta hit back, but you could supplement it with different things if this is a system you think is pretty cool. But I think for me, when doing cable-driven movements, you know, I really enjoy a good chest fly, a good chest press, a good tricep push down, a good bicep curl, and a good shoulder raise. So it's like really nice to have this style of system here, because again, it's not taking up a lot of space. And I think something too that people can see and notice is you can still utilize the front rack beams here. If you wanted to put a J-cup here, say I wanted to put a J-cup right here, and then on the other side here, you could still bench. Now, you might be able to go, see it's pretty close for me. If I go right here, the cable is kind of on the side here, so it'd be a little tight in my setup to want to hop in and do like a back squat from any way like that. But you could definitely still do a bench. Like, think about a back. You could set up this here and your spot arms and do a row, you know, or like a rack pull, things like that. So at least those possibilities are there. You guys have to let me know in the comments your thoughts on this setup. Again, it's definitely different. It's fun. It's unique. I love incorporating these articulating arms and the different styles of resistance. You know, obviously I have it on the Maximum Fitness. The resistance is a 220-pound weight stack, but it's cool to utilize, you know, a premium product like Anchor in this and put it into my training where I've been gravitating towards, like I said, chest, arm day with this, especially some shoulders too. And it's been a really good squeeze, really nice mind muscle connection, and it's impressed me. So you guys will have to let me know. So at the end of the day, guys, who is this right for? Well, I think anyone who is really limited on space. You like these wall rack systems, and obviously this is an affordable rack. This is only like, I think it was like $500. And then if you get this system here, you're looking at $2,500 for this space-saving system. And you're thinking, oh, Luke, well, you know, I still can't do heavy back day, or Luke, I still can't do a lot of legs. Well, if you think about it, you get like a budget lat tower, low row on the side, like the Deltec one I'm going to review, and you get like some power blocks like this, and this pretty much is your entire setup. You know, for someone working with limited space, I mean, if you have the expendable money and that's something you think is cool, I'll definitely check it out. Obviously, there's a lot more options out there. I think for me, this video was just fun to show how you can hack these articulating arms and the different styles of resistance, because a lot of people usually just use these for weight stacks or the Vultra. So I wanted to show how I use it with the 1-to-1 ratio 65-pound ANCORE Pro on each side. So again, appreciate you guys checking out this video, and if you think this is helpful for you guys, I do have the GetRXd and ANCORE links on my website and description. And I cannot wait to bring you guys another review next week on Luke's Garage Gym. This is Luke from Luke's Garage Gym. See you guys later. It felt really good with the 65 pounds on each side. I didn't really have to go really much heavier, and it felt, honestly felt really good, guys.